So in America, people go to law school after they go to university. Law school is for 3 years. University is for 4 years before that. So most people do go to law school right after university. But some people go out into the working world for some years or many years and get a job. For example, if they were an economics major in college or university, maybe they get a job at a business and they work there for many years and then, well, now I want to become a lawyer. So then they'll go to law school then. Maybe they'll keep their job while they're going to law school and then go to school at night. It's very difficult because law school is very intense. It's very difficult. So most people don't work their first year, but you certainly can work a little bit your second year and definitely your third year. So law school is a very intensive program. It's about 120 semester hours. It's the equivalent of a doctorate level graduate program anywhere else in the world. That's the way law school is in America. That's why in America we are called a doctor of law. Juris Doctor is the degree. I don't know of the equivalency of law school training in other countries like Ukraine or anywhere else, but in America it's a very rigorous academic program. It's very difficult to get into law school. There's a law school admission test called the LSAT, and even if you do well on that test, or well enough I should say, you still have to have a wonderful background from university, including grades, grade point average, involvement with activities. It depends on your major also. For example, if you have a great grade point average and you had a major in something really easy, it doesn't really go a long way. My major at the undergraduate level was a double major of biology and history. Both were very intensive programs. Also at a very well-known university, Loyola, and I did well enough on the law school admission test, so I was able to get into law school. But back for a second. So why do people want to become lawyers anywhere? In America also. It's different for everybody, I guess. Maybe some people in America are inspired by some of our historical figures. Some of our great presidents and statesmen from the past were lawyers. Abraham Lincoln, president, former trial lawyer like me. Thomas Jefferson, another great lawyer. John Adams, another great criminal defense lawyer. Some people are inspired by that. Some people are inspired by our system of government here, which we have what's called an equality of government. There's the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. The executive is the president. The judiciary is the U.S. Supreme Court, and then all the federal courts. And of course, the legislature is the U.S. Congress, which is made up of the House of Representatives and the Senate. So some people go to law school because they're inspired of being part of that system, which has no power over the other. That's called the system of checks and balances. And it's a type of constitutional system which is really unique and really works and has been copied by many countries all over the world ever since we came up with it in 1789, including Ukraine. When Ukraine got its constitution in 1991 or 1992, a lot of it was copied from our constitution. Not all of it. And many other countries as well. So, Ukraine is interesting. It's a country that really doesn't want a whole lot of foreigners to come there because your tax laws and immigration laws are like, really? But Ukraine has a way of borrowing things from other countries, but then not telling their own citizens, hey, that's from somewhere else. But anyway, So inspired by historical figures, inspired by our system of government, some are enticed by the idea of being in court, being a litigator or a barrister, which is what I am. Some are inspired about working in the corporate world in the legal capacity. There could be many reasons for going to law school. The worst reason is wanting to make a lot of money. So lawyers in America can make a lot of money depending on what they do, depending on who they work for, depending on how successful they are in private practice, which is what I am. I'll give you that journey and story in a moment. There are a lot of law schools in America. Like I said, it's very difficult to get into law school. For example, for each law school might get 100 applicants, only about 5 are allowed in. That's the average. For each 100 applicants, 5 get in. Of the 5 who do get into law school, only 2 or 3 actually make it through school. So it's very difficult. But when you emerge from law school, like I say, you have the equivalent of a doctorate level of education. To get out of law school, 2 things have to happen. Number 1, we have to write a very long paper. It's known as a thesis or dissertation. It usually ranges between 100 and 200 pages. Most of us students who do write that go on to publish that as a book because it's already at least 100 pages. Might as well, right? So I wrote mine on the rights concerning American Indians. American Indians in this country are the target of racial exploitation and hostility and apartheid by the American government, and always has been. The American government has broken one treaty after another against the American Indians who occupied this land first. And I have great passion for them because I grew up right among 2 Indian nations. One was called the Nez Perce and the other is the Shoshone. And so I have great affection for these people. They taught me many things, simple things, people who are after money would regard as stupid. Okay? Who is stupid? Things such as how to value your time, how to give a good account of yourself to God, how to take care of your body, how to take care of your mind, the fact that the 2 run together. For a man, how to be a leader and a strong man with your woman while always treating her with tenderness and respect. So it's a very fine line there for men to walk, but I grew up with being taught that, so it always came easy for me. But I've watched many other men struggle with that, with terrible consequences. Respect for nature, the land. The American Indians live among the land, and they're not vegetarians, but even when they are using an animal for food, they'll use every part of that animal for something, making part of the hide into shoes or shoelaces, or making coats and garments, and you name it, they use every part of that animal. So I learned great respect for nature, the earth, the soil, growing fresh food, taking care of my body, taking care of my mind. So when I got into law school, I was really offended when I learned from a legal perspective studying it how terribly America or the American government has treated these people, which are my neighbors, which are Americans. These are the real Americans. My people came from Ireland and Scotland and Greece, but these people lived here for 20,000 years, and the stuff that was done to them was horrible. So I wrote my dissertation or paper on that, sort of tracing back the history of the American government violating the rights of the American Indians. But I did not go to law school for the sake of helping the Indians. That's just what I wrote my paper on.